I guess just a quick question, Azmat. So do you have more biking going on this weekend?
Yes, yeah, today, later today or tomorrow, we'll be getting on my bike. The weather is really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And are you gonna be doing like the farm roads in and around Milton, going somewhere
Yeah,
or driving with
that's
your
right.
bike somewhere?
Yeah, yeah, just around the farm roads, just
Mhm.
maybe 5 to 10 kilometers one way.
Yeah.
So I'll try to hit 15 or 20. Let's see.
Oh, that's your goal, 15 or 20 kilometers
15 or 20,
for the
yeah,
day?
for the day. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You do this both Saturday and Sunday or just one day?
I try to do both Saturday, Sundays. Sometimes it's just Sundays. Sometimes just Saturday, Sunday, I just take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also depending on the weather, how hot it is.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your plan, Fred?
My plan is just to spend some more time with my family. So likely walk here in Hyde Park area. Just enjoy the
Okay.
weather. Yeah, what about you?
Me? Mine is this podcast. A few other things, lawn mowing, and obviously going out with Hannah to the park.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the plan for today. Tomorrow, probably a couple of blog posts. You know me, so.
That's a nice Father's Day for you, vlogging.
Yeah, right.
She's already made some gift for me, so she's kept it in a bag, and she's like waiting for tomorrow to give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Harsh?
Tomorrow's Father's Day, and today, after this, we'll see where the day takes me, but pretty much just relaxing today.
Yeah. Cool,
Right.
cool, cool.
We do have soccer started, so you guys can, next podcast we can wear our jerseys. Favorite team, Euro Cup,
Yeah, yeah,
Copa and Euro.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, my neighbor's already got a Manchester flag across the hood of his car.
Yeah. At office, like we were teasing US won against Pakistan, like it's
Mhm.
For the
so
T20.
T20,
T20,
yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was,
Well, the funniest thing is one of the US players works for Oracle, doesn't he?
yeah,
yeah, he
Yeah,
exactly.
does,
Yeah.
yeah.
he does.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Taking a break, going playing cricket, come back to work.
I
Yeah.
saw like an interview his sister did. She was making a joke or just mentioning that he would take his laptop everywhere with him. So even after a game, he'd go to the hotel room and work on his laptop.
Typical consultants, eh?
Right.
All right, we've been
Yeah.
talking a lot, but maybe we can tell everyone why we are here. So, Harsh or Asmat, Fred, you guys want to start introducing yourself, and then maybe then we can get into telling everyone why we are here. So
Go
we
ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
Asmat, you go first.
Oh, you want me to? Okay, sure. Asmat Bari. So I started my EPM journey, let's see, back in 2006 when I was working for a retail organization, fast food and retail. So there we had SAP going on, one of the projects, ERP rolling out, and then they purchased Hyperion. So I was on the SAP team and I was on the finance side running the financials FICO modules of SAP. And that time they started engaging me in Hyperion integration with the ERP financial systems. And during that time, one of the consultants left from the Hyperion team. So then they asked me to take on 50%. So now I'm 50% SAP, 50% Hyperion. Then eventually the load started taking on more and more. So I became from 50 to 75 to 100%. So then I just did a 360 shift from SAP into Hyperion. So started with Hyperion System 9, 9.1, 9.2, 3, then 11, and then EPM Cloud, and here I am now, full blown EPM.
It's amazing the switch from SAP to
Yeah,
Oracle.
yeah,
All right.
it was a fun journey.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Fred, how about you go next?
Yeah. I'm Fred Mamajanov. So I have about 40 years of experience in EPM space and have extensive background in FP&A. And my transition from FP&A to EPM so was I was head of FP&A at one telecom company. Then my CFO offered me just to lead the project of Oracle Fusion on the cloud. Interesting that it was the first Oracle Fusion on the cloud in Silicon in the world for Oracle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was quite a huge, project. I think it lasted for 3 years. So we deployed over 50 different kind of models, very extensive. And then I was just very interested in EPM space. Then I just restarted my career in EPM with some different kind of consulting companies here in Canada, and still working as a consultant in EPM space. So very happy to be one of the hosts of this exciting show.
Awesome. Harsh.
For me, I started actually in IT doing application support for, I think it was Lotus Notes databases.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, there was a position open in finance. I had a few people reach out saying, hey, I think you should apply. I applied, and then that was supporting an on-prem, a huge, massive Oracle EPM implementation. From there, I moved on to a couple administrator and manager roles, and now I'm a consultant like most of us here.
Amazing, amazing. It's strange, right? Because everyone started out on different domains, different technology, and then we're
Yeah.
all in EPM.
Yeah. What about you, Arun?
Yeah, so same story, right? So I started my EPM journey probably in 2014. So before that, I was a typical fully blown Oracle ERP technical consultant. So everything to do with integrations, data conversions, reporting, all that stuff, right? So City of Detroit is when I was introduced to EPM. So we had a lot of integrations back and forth between ERP and EPM. So I used to work closely with the EPM team. Then, I started working closely with them and slowly shifted to EPM from then. But I tried to work on both, like ERP and EPM. So right now I'm in Toronto as an EPM consultant, just like all of us here. And fun fact, Harsh and I used to work in the same company
Yeah,
back in the day. So
that's
yeah.
right.
Now
All
me
right.
and her are working in the same company.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And one of the other funny things is Arun was so involved in just the EPM community, as was Asmat. So as soon as Arun moved to Toronto, I was telling both of these guys, I think I was definitely telling Arun, oh, you got to meet this guy, Asmat.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny. I met Asmat in Deloitte offices, and then we started
Yeah.
collaborating and doing a lot of user group stuff, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. And that's how Fred joined all of us as well through the
Right,
user groups.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put you all on spot by asking, what's the best EPM product that you like?
Uh, Space.
Space? Okay.
I think Space is still powerful. We have so many clients still using Space. Although some of the clients have moved to EPM Cloud, but still they have an Space, ASO, BSO cube running for reporting. I know one or two clients I still know we are supporting them. They still have the Space add-in. So I was surprised and shocked. Like, you guys are still running the add-in. And the smart view is there, but no, they still love the add-in.
Yeah.
That add-in is not supported anymore, is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. They have an old version of Excel running.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Wow. What you, Harsh?
You know what? I was gonna say ARCs because for as long as I can remember, it just works. It's a fairly easy implementation. There's nothing too complicated about either the product or the business process, but it just seems to work so well with very little challenges as you implement it. But now that I'm thinking about it, Asmat is probably right. Essbase, it's the back end of everything.
everything. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Essbase, I don't think Oracle EPM would be a thing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Fred?
I think for me, it would be just planning and budgeting,
Mhm.
PBCS or
Mm,
ePBCS. where you can, build very custom, almost any kind of logics in the application, and
Yeah.
you just let end users to enjoy, one click thing, and then they will get the output. So that's what I really like.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love ARCs. I'm like
Arcs.
one of the ARCs guys, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a tagline, I would say, Arun Raj, I love ARCs.
Part of the reason why I probably said it is because I've heard so much from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with Harsh. Like it's pretty easy implementation as long as you figure out the data sources. Yeah, as long as you have the data right, it works. It just works. No issues. And I hope data pipeline comes to ARCs pretty soon. So that's I'm hoping it comes soon. That would
Yeah,
be amazing.
I think Oracle is doing great with all the products, their integration and becoming more seamless integration. There's still some kinks in FCCS, in
Yeah.
EPDCS
Yeah.
integration. I'm sure that, as technology moves, we will see, better opportunities there.
Okay. So maybe to everyone listening or watching the podcast, maybe we can now introduce the podcast. So who is listening, who is watching, we are very excited to introduce our new podcast. We're calling it EPM Coffee Chat. And I'll let each one of us speak about what we plan or intend to do with the podcast, what our vision is in terms of what you can expect from the podcast. But I'm very excited to kick this off, and I'm very happy I'm doing with Asmat, Harsh, and Fred. So I'm gonna again put somebody on spot. Harsh, you tell what you expect out of the podcast, what you think we're gonna give back to the community.
Well, one thing is right off the bat is Arun, Fred, Asmat, and I, we met at some of these local Toronto EPM events that we all actually help organize, and we just hit it off so well. So whenever we have meetings for things like that, we always go off into tangents talking about different things. For example, I think a couple weeks ago, we ended up talking about how much we love pipeline for probably 20 minutes. And that was one of the reasons why I think we chose to do this, because we love talking about these things. We love sharing knowledge with each other, with the community overall. So we just wanted to have another outlet to be able to do that.
Yeah, well said, well said. Asmat.
Yeah, I think I echo comments from Harsh. Same thing, love being part of the community. There's so much out there that people can learn from each other, the networking component, the learning component. And I've been doing this for so long now that people come out and, to just meet up, at conferences or events or even local user groups, regional groups that we have. And we want to take this abroad. Like, we want to start going into different cities, in Canada and US. So you never know, this can be a big, start of a big thing that we're starting today.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. Fred.
Yeah, I echo that. Can't agree more. I I definitely would like to share all that I know, and I would like to make this podcast as tangible as possible so that people can get real experience and get real knowledge and some value from it. And myself, for example, I'm pretty sure I'll along this way I'll learn a lot of stuff from you guys and probably from our guests. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I think I echo what everyone just said. We all have a common interest, which is sharing our knowledge and talking about EPM, but also the fact that we get to learn from each other, right? And that's pretty important too. So one of the things we are planning to do is to bring in guests. I already have a couple of guests lined up for the next couple of episodes. So we will bring in guests to talk about the different EPM products, EDM, ARCs, and in general in the product roadmap. Hopefully, we are able to get someone from Oracle too. So that'll be a nice option. But in general, I think we all want to educate and share our knowledge about EPM with the community. And yeah, would love to see anyone who is interested to be on the podcast. We would highly welcome them and chat about EPM in general. All right. So what do we do next? Maybe talk about demystifying EPM. So I can kick it off and, you can talk about EPM. So one of the things I hear a lot from people who don't know EPM or people who know just Hyperion, they talk or think about EPM as a product just for planning, budgeting, and forecasting, and they don't know anything else. Have you run into those kind of scenarios? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I get many times, clients, even some of our resources who join our practice consulting, training them and letting them know what EPM is, what Hyperion is, what is planning, what is EPBCS, the comparison. So, it's just like learning EPM 101.
Yeah.
So I run into that many times, even at home. Sometimes, my son is asking, what is this EPM that you do? So, explaining them is something challenging.
Yeah. How about you, Fred?
Yeah, I think that's true. That's a common understanding of EPM that it's just a planning and budgeting, and there is nothing else, even though it has so many features which are usually already included in all the subscriptions, and usually customers can enjoy them. So it's definitely much more than just planning and budgeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the new subscription models from a few years ago, it seems like everyone is starting to broaden sort of their horizons on the other EPM applications other than just planning, budgeting, and consolidation.
Yeah. You're right. Like, especially a few of the applications or products like account reconciliation, narrative reporting, which
Narrative.
Yep.
you don't need to have an EPM application. You can connect to GL for that matter, and you can report. The other one I can think of is EPCM, profitability and allocations. EDM is another one, enterprise data management, which works with, which can work with any system for that matter.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be Oracle. It can work with non-Oracle systems too. So there are a lot of applications out there in EPM, which people really don't know if you're just thinking in EPM as like a planning, budgeting, and forecasting system. So we definitely run into these scenarios where people just think EPM is budgeting and forecasting and nothing else. All
It's
right.
also tax reporting, which EPM people don't even know.
Yeah, that's one
That's
thing.
Even
right.
myself, I barely know it.
Yeah.
Well, one
Yeah.
of the updates for EDM, this June release was they have a new application type in EDM for TRCS. So
Oh, it's there.
yes,
Nice.
yeah. Okay, Fred, sorry, you were saying something?
No, I just want to say that FCC is another one that is, I think,
Yes.
commonly used lately, right? It
Right.
usually goes along with planning and budgeting and ARCs and EDM.
Yeah. So maybe we just list all the applications that's available, maybe. So planning is one. Planning includes module-based planning, freeform, and custom planning. And I think they introduce predictive cash forecasting is one of the application type now in planning. Account reconciliation is another one, which includes reconciliation compliance and transaction matching. You want to take the next one, Harsh? Next couple?
Okay, so you've got planning, account reconciliation. Obviously, there's profitability and cost management, which really is I'd call it a allocation engine where you don't need hardcore coders or techie people. You can really have the business own that tool. Let me think, what else is there? Narrative reporting, of course, as Arun mentioned earlier, that one, it's a really nice sort of reporting solution because it can not only connect to all the EPM applications, but also ERP, pretty much anything with an S-based backend. And if you've got outside things that are in Excel, hey, you can connect to that as well and lock things down with security on that as well. So I've got a couple. Who wants to take the next few?
I think a couple of them in EPBCS, I think within the strategic modeling, it used to be like the old Hyperion strategic finance, and then we have workforce planning,
Yep.
which still a lot of companies use. And then I think I did hear about IPM, intelligent performance management, or something like that, where you can start doing tagging now. You can tag people with EPM planning and budgeting. So there's so much coming in the new release that we see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You want to take the last couple of applications?
I can think of FCC, which I think works pretty well with PBCS, particularly if you want to, combine them or connect them together. The other one I can think of is
Tax reporting.
Yeah, tax reporting. Yeah, I know there is also they have PBCS and PBCS Plus subscription. I don't know if it's still available there, but I know they had the PBCS Plus that enabled customers to use Groovy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think right now they just have standard and enterprise too. They made it pretty simple now. Standard enterprise subscriptions. Yeah, I think one thing that we missed out is EDM. EDM is
yep.
the
Oh, yes,
metadata management application. So yeah. All right. So that's everything from EPM ecosystem. I know there's a
What
sales
about
planning.
Freeform? Does
Yeah,
that count as its own, or
Freeform.
is that part of planning? What would you call it?
Well, it is planning, but yes, you can
Yeah.
definitely think of it as a separate offering itself, right? What was I going to say? Yeah, sales planning. I know that's another thing which is out there. Never got a chance to work on it, but again, it is based on EPM. Technology stack. The other one was strategic workforce planning.
Yeah.
I know initially it was part of EPM, then they moved out to HCM SKU, and I think it's back into EPM SKU now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's another one which is EPM based, obviously. All right. The next, I think we wanted to chat about, if you want to go round table, but major updates that came into EPM in the last year or so. And then we can jump into the June updates and talk a little bit about that. So, Fred, maybe I'll start with you. Look back, think about the last 1 year.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I would like to talk about Forms 2.0.
I'm not surprised. So Fred did a session on Forms 2.0 in our Toronto EPM user group event in October last year. Yeah, October last year. So yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like it, still using it, enjoying it, and I encourage everyone to enable Forms 2.0 for everyone who has a legacy applications. For all new applications, it's defaulted to Forms 2.0. There are a lot of additional capabilities with Forms 2.0. It has a much nicer and easier to navigate user interface. So definitely worth to use it. And it basically gives customers to make fewer clicks, I would say, as well as it works faster. So you don't have to, whenever you would like to change data, you can enable calc on the fly. So you don't have to hit save before just to see the output. So you can just input all adjustments that you want, and then you will see them on the fly. So no need to click save button and then remove it if you don't like it. So it's now works much more smoothly and so easier for customers.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was opening up the EPM system so to show everyone. But yeah, Forms 2.0, I think it's definitely a great feature. When they first released, I think there was a lot of issues, but they've been fixing many of them. I think one of the major ones that they missed out was export to spreadsheet. When they first released Forms 2.0, the export to spreadsheet was not there. There's a lot of comments on Cloud Customer Connect forum. Bring back that feature. So it's back. Now it's there. Harsh, what do you like about Forms 2.0?
I just like the calcs on the fly. Like
Yeah.
I think I like that you can type it in, see it right away. You don't have to click save and wait. Like from a user perspective, I think that's been my favorite.
Awesome. Asmat, have you tried Forms 2.0?
No, I have not tried it, but I've tried the other ones like Smart View, and I know there's a lot of talk about Redwood theme, the dark and the light theme that a lot of people are asking. Many of our clients want to explore that option. And then I think there's a couple of REST API features that I was reading last week or so. So that's where I am right now. I'm going through all these
Yeah.
material to read up about and then relay with our clients.
Yeah. I think Forms 2.0 for me, one of the nicest feature is Smart List. So Forms 1.0, if you were to select a smart list, it would pop up a new window, right? Now it doesn't. It's just a smart list. It's just a drop down, just like any web page. So
Right.
that's good. The other one is, I think, Fred, you mentioned this, member search is pretty easy.
Right.
You can just type and, it just filters everything. So from a
Right.
user perspective, it's pretty good. Yeah, a lot of good features. I think you can now see all of the business rules and data push in one screen. You can kick them off from there. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely
Yeah.
that's one of the good releases from Oracle in the last
Yeah.
year.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Asma.
No, I was just going to say Smart View. One thing that also a couple of our clients were asking was support for Mac. So Mac, support is also there now with Smart View. So that was something, new that I discovered as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So if
Yeah, I just wanted.
no, go
Sorry.
ahead. I'm
I just
gonna
want
share my screen and show everyone while we talk about this.
Sounds good. Yeah. I just want to add that in addition to that Forms 2.0, there is a dashboard 2.0, right?
Yeah.
That is also much nicer user interface. And I think it also works smoother versus the old dashboard. And I like that you just have to migrate it. So you don't have to, change anything, edit anything. It works very pretty smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to just show how do you enable Forms 2.0. So if you go into your settings, and you should see an option called Forms version, and this is where you can switch back and forth between 1.0 and 2.0. I think for the new applications that are created, it gets defaulted to 2.0. Any application that gets recreated, that gets defaulted to 2.0 too. But you do have the option to switch back between 1.0 and 2.0. I just wanted to share that. All right. Harsh, what's your best feature from the last year or so?
Mine is going to be pipeline.
Yay.
Yeah,
We
it's
can agree on that.
yeah, definitely. I know you talked a lot about it. I've seen your posts about it. I've read through it. And I was thinking initially, oh yeah, some integration stuff, no big deal. But then when I actually started using it, I was like blown away. I was like, wow, it really makes an administrator's life so much easier.
Yeah.
There's just so much you can do, especially cross product. So one example is we've got something going on in PCM. We can call a pipeline. It can load data to FCC, launch a consolidation there, data copies and other apps, all sorts of stuff. So I think that by far is my favorite.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm a big fan of data pipeline. I've played around with it so much. I especially like the fact that you can create your own custom variables and use the variables within pipeline. You can, like Harsh mentioned, cross-pod integrations. You can transfers file between pods. Invoke remote business rules and integrations. Yeah, so much to love about it. I think one of the best features released in the last year is data pipeline. And with Groovy and pipeline together, it's just amazing. You can do a lot of things with Groovy and pipeline.
So let me ask you something.
Mhm.
What do you not like about pipeline right now?
What do I not like about pipeline? Interesting question. I like everything about pipeline. The one thing that I don't like is it's not available across all EPM products,
Okay.
right? So I would have loved to see pipeline in ARCs. If it was part of ARCs, then it was, initially I was like thinking pipeline should be the first introduced in ARCs because that's where you have a lot of data integrations and stuff. So yeah, that's one thing I would love to see in in pipeline coming in in ARCs.
Yeah, for me, the one thing I don't like is that autosave.
Oh
There
yeah,
are too many
yeah,
times where I want to open and look at something
yeah,
and I mess
yeah,
it up.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that is true. There's no save button, so it just auto saves, and sometimes it doesn't save. You think it's saved, you come back and you go back in and edit and see that it's not saved. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. That's one thing that they need to fix.
And I think
Just
in the
just give just give like a save button. It's easy.
Yeah.
right. And I think if they just add an option to duplicate existing pipeline, that would
Yes.
be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right about that because there's too many times where I have to create similar ones.
Right.
I take a
Yeah.
screenshot of it and then I copy and paste things into Notepad. So
Right.
as I'm creating a new one, I don't mess it up.
Yeah. I don't know if there's an option to migrate just the pipeline. Like, can you take a pipeline and migrate it to a different instance? Um,
Hmm,
like from test to prod, rather than migrating
true.
everything.
And then open it up in text editor and see what you can copy and paste.
Yeah.
Actually, on that, Fred, the other thing I was thinking is a pipeline within a pipeline. It's probably not a big use case for a lot of people, but for us, we came across it a few times where it would have been handy.
I
Yeah, I
agree.
think the way you can circumvent that is to use Groovy. So you
Mm,
can invoke a pipeline using Groovy
yep,
and then include that Groovy business rule in the pipeline. So it kind
yep.
of works. I think even Oracle's recommendation initially is that, okay, you have Groovy, you can invoke a pipeline, just use Groovy in the pipeline. So it should be fine. But yeah, natively, if there's an option to invoke the pipeline, that'll be great.
Yeah, it'd be cool to be able to visually see it, just like like how the pipelines work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about pipeline. So I think initially it was pretty, like a classic view, but now they changed something and it's very small and you have to zoom, like you have to scroll to see all of this little, jobs. It's not quite convenient.
Yeah.
I came across that recently while sharing a screen. I pulled up a pipeline and there was a lot of different jobs in there and no one could see it. They were like, what am I looking at?
Right.
That's funny. That's Matt. Okay, you kind of mentioned about Smart View for
Smart View,
Mac.
yeah. I think Smart View, REST APIs, I think those are things that I usually like to read about and tell our clients because most of our clients use Smart View heavily. So
Yeah,
they just like to see more reporting, how they can improve their reporting, how they can get better with drill down, slicing and dicing of data. I think those things I like to read
yeah.
about.
Yeah, I think REST APIs, there have been a lot of enhancements
Yeah.
to REST APIs.
Hmm. Hmm.
One thing I think they have started doing is, every time we have to run a job, it generates the file. Then we
Yeah.
have to run another job to download the
Download the
file.
file. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I think some of the REST APIs are now being synchronous, meaning it
Hmm.
would give you the response in JSON format. So you can use that, in your whichever program you're invoking. So that's nice. Hopefully all of the like import metadata, export metadata, all of that stuff works using JSON. That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
I was just going through my list. So we talked about data pipeline, Forms 2.0, awesome. I think one of the other change was all of the EPM instances moved to OCI Gen 2.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. That's right.
So from
Yeah.
Gen
Yeah.
1 to Gen 2.
Yeah.
Then I think Redwood theme was a big,
Hmm.
big
That's a
change.
good one. Yeah.
I like Redwood theme. It's pretty
Hmm.
sleek.
Good
The
one.
icons look much, much better.
Oh, yeah. Very
Uh,
clean.
Yeah, very clean and clear. Like sometimes
Yeah.
old ones, I don't know,
Yeah.
didn't look that great. So Redwood theme is one. Um, predictive cache forecasting. I know it's a pretty recent release from Oracle, but that was another one, predictive cache forecasting. And because I love ARCs, I had to include this, the dashboards feature in ARCs. I've used it heavily in ARCs. So
Mhm.
I love the fact that you can now create custom dashboards rather than relying on the out-of-the-box dashboards that Oracle provides.
Surprisingly, the out-of-the-box dashboards and reports were pretty good in ARCs, even
Yeah,
from before, right?
Good job, Tim. Yeah. If you don't know, Tim is the product manager from Oracle.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think those were the major ones. I'm sure we are missing a few, but this is what we can probably remember in the last 1 year. So now switching gears. Do we want to talk about June updates?
Do it.
Sure. Yep.
So I have the documentation open and we can go through. I don't know if anybody wants to kick off. Fred,
I
I'll let you kick off.
Yeah, there is one new feature that I really like, and I know many customers have been asking for it. So now within planning and budgeting application, you have this management reporting or reports that Oracle call it. So they are going to depreciate this financial reporting.
Mm,
Uh, and instead of that, everyone will use reports, which has much nicer, again, user interface, and it works much better. So it was missing one feature that financial reporting had is ability to include multiple reports and books into one zip file and then send it to stakeholders.
yeah.
So that feature was missing in the reports, and they just introduced it in June release, and I think that yeah, that's a great job, Oracle. Thank you.
Yes. Seems like the users would be happy with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it part of narrative reporting updates? Um,
Yeah,
Is
there was one that I remember, the search.
or this one, right? Fred, you're talking about this one, introducing bursting
No,
email.
right, right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. This seems like a great feature for the customers. So Harsh, you were talking about narrative reporting, so maybe we
yeah,
could,
narrative reporting. There was one new
yeah,
feature that, before the update, I didn't think I would like it, or I would never thought of it that I needed it. But then after this update came through and I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. When essentially the update is when you go through like a Word document and you want to embed content into it, like reports and things like that, there, when you click on the embed button, you've got a list of a bunch of different objects that you can embed. So there was no search. You'd have to just scroll up and down through the list. And now there is the search. So a lot of times in the past, when you have a lot of available content to embed and you use names that are very similar but slightly different, that's where the search would help.
yeah.
So again, I think the other one was smart view updates. It was probably bug fixes and things like that. But the search is kind of like a cool new feature.
Yeah, I would agree. If you have a lot of content to embed, this is such a great feature. So, Asma, because you talked about Smart View, I think there was a update on
Yeah,
Smart View.
there was an update about SmartView. I was going through the link. Let me see if I can see here. I was capturing some details. So there was something about EPM Books extension for SmartView.
Right.
That's now available to download and install, which includes a lot of defects and improvements. And then new applications setting enable upcoming for the SmartView for Google Workspace
Yeah.
in Google Sheets. So that was something new also, that a lot of people are using Google Sheets these days as well. And
I've,
then one thing that I noticed in the environment updates, the OCI Gen 2, the test environments used to be backed up for 30 days.
mm,
Now it's backed up for 60 days. So that's
yeah,
another, thing that a lot of people were asking, can we back up test environment for more days?
right.
So yeah,
Yeah, I've never even thought about using Google Sheets with Smart View.
exactly. Yeah,
Same.
So this is new for me. So
that's right. Yeah.
good to know. Good to know. But this is not yet available, I'm assuming, right? Or it's coming as part of June
As
updates.
part of June
Oh
update.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we should try this and we can
Yeah.
talk about in the next podcast.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, there were what other updates did we have? Major updates. And I think in EDM, there were a couple of updates. No, not couple of updates. EDM had a lot of updates, but a couple of them I would highlight would be the fact that tax reporting cloud service is one of the application types available now. And I think there was about the approval hierarchy that you can enable now in EDM. Yeah, so here's this one. So approval policies can be configured with the management hierarchy approval method, and you can invite approvers based on a hierarchy of users defined in a user type application. So it gives, I think, more flexibility in terms of collaboration and governance and approval workflow. I think this is going to be another great feature for EDM.
Yeah, I think there was one for extracting packages in EPM or
Okay,
the EDM where you can extract the package and zip it up into a zip file, and then you
right.
can load it into different staging environments. So that
Yep.
one also something that I came across, I think.
Yeah, there were a lot of updates
Yeah.
for EDM. So one of the future episodes, we should invite Kate and
Oh, yes.
Abhinav.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kate and Abhinav are the two folks that I know who works on EDM. So we should probably invite them and let them
Mhm.
talk about EDM.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the one that you're talking about, right? New extract
Yeah.
pack.
The extract. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 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 What I do is sometimes I just search for the word new and just see
Yeah,
what's new.
that's a good way to
Yeah.
search for new things. Um, there was something about security, right? Which
Oh, yeah. That was, let me see here.
yeah, so security and access. I think
Mm-hmm.
I joked about this. So there's a new application role available called
Yeah.
Access Control
System management.
Manage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So this
User.
allows you to, yeah, so you can you have the ability, if you have this role, you can manage
Yeah.
groups,
Groups
assign
and
application roles.
applications. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't
That's
need to
right.
have like a service
service
administrator
admin.
role
No.
to do this. So what I was joking about was it says access control manage, and I was like, why is it not manage access control? As the
Yeah.
as the role name, right?
It's the other way around. Yeah.
Anyway, that was my rant about it. I think this is another one. Like, you can now have multiple password policies in IDCS.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
different
really?
users groups can have different password policies assigned
Yeah.
to an IDCS. So that was another one. Didn't see any major update in planning except for one, which I think we all are probably going to try this out, which is collaborating with IPM insights using tags. I do have a video. Maybe we can play this so while we talk about this, so people can also see. I don't know if you can see the video. Tell me if you
Yep.
you can.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can.
All right. So here, this is a video from Oracle, obviously, and it's showing how you can add comments, and within the comments, you can put hashtags. So you can see that the hashtag is hash CFO review.
Mhm.
And you can also tag people. And in your
Mhm.
Insights dashboard, now you can search with the tag and you'll see everything that is tagged with CFO review. So it's an easy way to filter and look for specific insights and take action upon on them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
you
think
can
it
see
was.
that you can also tag names of the folks,
Oh, okay.
users. You can also tag, I think, specific groups too, not just the users. You can also tag groups. So yeah, so here's one example. They're tagging the group FP&A. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good feature. One thing I think what's missing is notification. So if you tag me, I don't think I get notified that I'm tagged. I still have to go and check, I believe. Maybe we'll test it out and confirm that. Yeah, I think this is a good feature. What are your thoughts, Harsh, Asmat, Fred, on this?
As
Yeah.
you
Like,
were about to say that,
Mhm.
I was going to ask if notifications work.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they've added also like a new "How do I" in the Help Center tab, so you can look at things with Redwood graphics and ask questions and look at documentations.
Yeah.
So it's something new that they've added in planning also that I was reading about it.
Yeah. Anything on PCM that nothing major, I guess,
I
but
think there was only minor updates. PCM probably, I guess there's still one on PCM, and for EPCM again, there was minor updates.
yeah. Right. Fred, anything else you wanted to highlight? Just thinking through. I know account reconciliation had an update where you could now validate the bank statement with the closing balance, I believe.
Mhm.
Let's go back here. Yeah, so for BAI statement, you now have an option to validate the balances in the integration itself. So even before loading it, it would check the balances and fail the data load if the balance doesn't match. So again, I would write about this in a future blog, but this I think is another great feature from ARCs. So you don't load, you while you're loading the data, it checks for the balances, validates it, and then rejects if it doesn't match. So that's a good feature too. What else? Freeform. I don't think there are any major updates on Freeform.
Yeah, no,
Narrative reporting
yeah,
we talked about. Cloud platform, we touched on most of the major
yeah.
updates.
Platform had quite a few small updates.
Yeah, I think these were like 2 REST API updates. Again, like I mentioned, these are synchronous now, meaning you can now get the data back. You don't have to run an additional REST API to download the file and look at it.
Mhm.
So again, I'll probably write about it later. This I don't know what's the need for this, but there is an API which says view the current theme. I have no idea why anyone would use this for.
Yeah, it's his business benefit getting application teams. Interesting.
No idea
Yeah.
why why you would need this. Bookstack extension. All right. I think that's everything in planning. Yeah, this isn't much.
Yeah,
Tax reporting. I'm not even going to tax reporting, so all right. Anything else you guys wanted to share? And if not, we can probably talk about the next episode a little bit. So
Nothing to me.
we would have the next episode probably in the next 4 weeks, I believe. So I think we are planning to do it after the release updates come out, so we
Yeah.
can talk about obviously those updates. So I'll maybe share for everyone benefit like our contact details. So if ever you wanted to connect with us on LinkedIn, here are the links. Yeah, feel free to connect with us. And like I mentioned, we will have future episodes where we will bring in guests and dive a little bit more deeper into specific applications in EPM. All right, Harsh, Asmat, Fred, anything you guys wanted to say before we conclude?
Nothing new.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
No,
all.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Hopefully you like this. And yeah, connect with us if you wanted to be on this podcast and chat about EPM. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.